It's not hard to see the appeal of fast food. It's budget-friendly, it's convenient, and if you're not expecting Michelin star quality, it can be pretty tasty.
Oh wow, that is really good.
But appetizing and safe are two different things. See, while parents might compulsively check their kids' candy after every Halloween for potential tampering, perhaps this energy is better spent examining those meals served to customers in a paper bag.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like,
I've never seen something this disgusting. Yeah, no.
100% no for me.
Like, seriously, McDonald's, what?
People are suing your favorite fast food restaurants. Items are being recalled. Effective immediately, a stop and sell and discard. Employees are being forced to serve food gone wrong.
But what about customer safety? Like, this stuff can get people really sick.
Customers have been hospitalized.
Can I talk to somebody about the inspection?
No, I can't, sweetie, I can't.
But the severity of some situations are life-threatening.
Several people became ill at the restaurant in Seekonk.
And some ingredients have no business winding up on a customer's plate.
Something's gotta change. Like, this is gonna get people sick. Like, really sick.
Is eating fast food still worth the risk? Read the headlines over the past few years, and you'll start to notice an alarming trend. Whether it's a customer experiencing cramps after a late-night McDonald's run, patrons of restaurants coming down with mysterious illnesses, or rat poison somehow making its way into a Taco Bell burrito, grabbing a quick bite from a fast food chain has never seemed like such a hazardous mission. But with businesses now being hit with lawsuits left, right, and center, are these allegations simply following in the footsteps of money-grab suits of the past that sought to cash in on the billion-dollar industry?
That scandal at Subway, you may have heard about this one. It turns out some of their famous foot-long sandwiches have been coming in a bit short, and that, perhaps not surprisingly, has now led to a lawsuit.
A New York woman says she spent $20 for a bucket of chicken last summer and was disappointed when the meal fell short of what was advertised.
A new federal lawsuit alleging that mega coffee chain Starbucks is burning their customers when it comes to iced beverages. The suit alleging the brand serves up more ice than coffee.
Or are these discounted dinners really coming at the unadvertised cost of consumer health and safety? To answer this question, let's take a look at what's really going down in some of the most frequented kitchens in the world. And what better place to start than the chain that's synonymous with fast food itself, McDonald's. Whether it's those glowing yellow arches, the colorful mascots, or childhood memories of play place birthday parties, McDonald's has lastingly seared itself in American iconography. And just like the business itself, the restaurant's menu is its own legacy, full of household names from Happy Meals to Big Macs. And, of course, the timeless favorite, Chicken McNuggets. But what if we told you those golden, bite-sized snacks might not be as harmless as they look? In January 2023, Toronto news source Blog TO reported that an Ontario woman was sick for days after ordering chicken nuggets from a McDonald's location in the city. Rebecca Boyd had originally intended to share with her 3-year-old daughter. Luckily for the toddler, the nuggets were too hot for her to consume right away. Unfortunately for Rebecca, she wasn't put off by a little heat. Hunger overriding reason, Rebecca was already 2.5 nuggets deep when she noticed what she was chewing on wasn't the normal texture of chicken, but raw and mushy. It turned out the dish had allegedly been dangerously undercooked. And if the taste wasn't indicative of this, the nausea and flu-like symptoms Rebecca experienced in the following 3 days sure were. And according to tales passed around social media, Rebecca is far from the only person that's been served nuggets tartare.
Raw.
Now let's see them under flash.
This was the one I bit into. This is one that I ripped open. That's a cooked one. That's clearly raw.
One TikTok user even believed the chicken nuggets she was eating in Mexico must have used different ingredients.
Tastes different, right? The nugget.
Yeah.
It's
There's like cheese in it. Or is it raw? I hope it's not raw.
Only to be hit with the realization that she hadn't been chowing down on the country's innovative twist on the classic, but what appeared to be raw meat. And it isn't just what's inside your McDonald's order that consumers should be worried about, but what's holding it together. It turned out numerous customers have allegedly found mold on the chain's buns.
Just got it from McDonald's. Look at that. Is that normal?
Yeah, so there's mold on my fish fillet sandwich that I just bought. That's disgusting.
And the ramifications of this oversight could be deadly.
So this message is from McDonald's. Is your new standard serving your customers moldy food? My daughter is severely allergic to mold. Like, it can kill her. Had this been for her, I could be on my way to the hospital right now because of you guys, because of your negligence, okay? But at least when
McDonald's and other chains slip up, mold is pretty easy to spot, right? Well, this isn't always the case. Mold has the habit of hiding where customers are least likely to look, from the bottom of Domino's pizza crusts to inside a piece of KFC fried chicken. And sometimes it can go completely unseen, as customers and former McDonald's employees have alleged drink machines are rarely cleaned as thoroughly as they need to be.
There is mold in most frappe machines because both stores that I've worked at in Ohio, I never seen anybody clean it properly. Nobody.
In fact, an employee at a Louisiana McDonald's was so disturbed by the state of the drip tray for the restaurant's ice cream machine, he decided to snap a few pictures.
I asked my manager, I said, when's the last time y'all cleaned this?
And she said, hurry up and bring it to the back before a customer sees it.
And while the employee was allegedly fired for posting the images online, it seems threats of termination aren't enough to keep fast food workers quiet.
This is what the inside of a broken McDonald's ice cream machine looks like. The inside has never been cleaned.
See, unlike cooks at a 5-star establishment whose restaurant's reputation and livelihood go hand in hand, it's hard to buy the allegiance of fast food workers through bi-weekly minimum wage paychecks at a business that views them as replaceable. Of course, this means when something shady happens behind the scenes, there's not a lot holding these employees back from making such information public, which is exactly what one Taco Bell worker from Green Bay, Wisconsin decided to do when his boss allegedly crossed the line. Under the username Keep It Real for Life, the employee used TikTok to claim the Taco Bell location he worked at tried to make him serve ingredients that shouldn't be added to any customer's 5-layer burrito, chalupa, or crunch wrap.
Today is March 15th, right? Our area coach came in last night and told us we have to use beef that expired on February 27th of this year and March 10th of this year.
And it wasn't just expired beef For Life's boss allegedly asked employees to ignore the expiration date on.
We got onions that we have to use because they don't want to throw it out because of food costs.
But the idea that profits should trump customer safety made the employee uncomfortable.
I don't know if this is going on at other Taco Bells, but this one particular, it is bad.
For Life explained this practice wasn't just cheap, it was risky.
Something's gotta change. Like, this is gonna get people sick, like really sick.
And according to Healthline, ground meat is more prone to spoilage, meaning it goes bad faster. And while this spoilage usually only affects the odor and taste of the meat, it also makes it easier for the meat to develop pathogenic bacteria, a major culprit in food poisoning. Fever, cramps, and vomiting are just some of the symptoms customers could experience if their favorite Mexican-inspired meal was served with a side of expired beef. And there's always the possibility of more severe illness arising, especially in toddlers, children, and those with pre-existing health concerns. So workers at this Taco Bell allegedly took a stand. The TikTok user claimed managers and employees had left that specific location to work at other Taco Bell locations, so their jobs wouldn't be taken away if they refused to serve the expired meat and produce.
I don't know what you want to do, Taco Bell, but something's got to get figured out because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
The comment section of the TikTok was quickly taken over by viewers telling the employee to inform the health department of what was happening at the location. As one user commented, it's against core and food safety violations in the health department. But it seemed For Life was already aware of this, replying, "Oh, I know, but when your job is at stake, most employees will do what they are told. We didn't sell it on our shift, but the closing crew will." 2 days after the video was posted, For Life allegedly received a call from his boss.
She called me and said, "I'm fired." I was like, "That's fine, but what about what you said to serve, what you told the employees to do, serve expired food?" And she ended up hanging up on me.
Then he claimed HR called, threatening legal action if he didn't follow her request.
She didn't want anything to do with anything but me taking out my video.
But the video stayed up, a small act of defiance against a powerful business. Yet not every fast food failure is a business putting customer satisfaction below financial gain. Sometimes chains just gravely miscalculate what their clientele actually wants. Take, for example, one of Starbucks' latest ventures in caffeinated beverages, the Oleato line. First launched in Milan before making its way to the US in March 2023, This was coffee with a twist, the addition of Partana extra virgin olive oil. And while some were on board with the infusions of European flair in the chain's signature cafe lattes, blonde espressos, and cold brews,
I might add this in. Maybe not every day, but it's pretty good.
To other customers, this was proof that even something as simple as coffee could be butchered.
It's like an oil spill on your iced coffee. You can just see the ooey gooey olive oil like on the sides of the drink. When they say infused with olive oil, they actually just mean that there will be a layer of olive oil sitting on top of your drink.
You don't like that drink. Admit it. Order that drink right now and drink that. I like the drink. I think it's a drink. I like.
What in the world? Oh! Yeah, no. 100% no for me.
But it wasn't just the taste that had customers concerned about the novel concept, but the effects that had more than a few people running to the bathroom.
Olive oil's been used as a natural laxative for like centuries. Are people just realizing this? And also, coffee already makes you poop. So Starbucks is selling you poop potion and people are angry that it's making them poop. If you don't want to poop, don't buy the poop potion.
Yet others pointed out that the line's laxative effects could be spun in the company's favor. New marketing campaign: Starbucks new weight loss coffees. Well, I know what to drink before my next colonoscopy, but this isn't the only item on Starbucks' menu that left customers with stomach troubles. Ever heard of the chain's chicken maple butter and egg sandwich? Well, it wouldn't be surprising if it slipped under your radar. After all, last summer, the sandwich was only added to the menu for less than a week before it disappeared from the chain. As it turned out, hundreds of customers, as well as baristas, had allegedly experienced abdominal pain, vomiting, and diarrhea after consuming the sandwich. Some even claimed to find bones, tendons, and raw meat, as one user took to Twitter with a disturbing image of the pink inside of her sandwich, writing, "What the hell, Starbucks? I'm pregnant trying to enjoy my chicken sandwich and it's raw." Others appeared to comment on the dark but possible outcomes of consuming the sandwich. POV, I'm taking you to an MRI of what's left of your intestines after you had the Starbucks maple chicken sandwich. Me FaceTiming my manager after someone unalived from choking on a bone in the new maple chicken sandwich. With the increasing number of horror stories involving the sandwich circulating online, the Seattle-based coffee house had to act quickly. According to a message an alleged Starbucks employee posted to TikTok, 6 days after the sandwich was launched, corporate sent out a memo for stores to stop selling and discard the sandwich immediately. A statement from the company claimed the sandwich did not meet Starbucks' quality standards, and a recall was issued, although they said it wasn't related to listeria or salmonella. And this wasn't the only recall from the chain. In September 2022, cans of Starbucks' vanilla espresso triple shot were also taken off of shelves. And this time, it wasn't because of any ingredient gone bad. No, the problem was that the drinks were contaminated with shards of metal. This means any unwitting consumer gulping down their daily caffeine fix could have ended up with dental issues, choking, or lacerations in the gastrointestinal system. There's a lesson here. Carefully examine your food before you eat it. As our next story will prove, there's no telling what could be hiding inside. Subway, eat fresh. At least that's what the tagline claims. But with the Irish Supreme Court ruling that the chain's bread has too high a sugar content to be legally classified as such, and a 2021 lawsuit filed against the business that alleged what the chain uses as tuna doesn't contain tuna or fish at all, customers might be inclined to believe the opposite, especially considering what happened at one of Subway's establishments in 2015. See, while the film Ratatouille might make a rat in a restaurant look like a charming experience, it seems the magic of Disney doesn't translate to real life. At least, not when the rodent is in the center of your sandwich. This is exactly the predicament Jay Armstead found himself in when he visited a Subway in Lincoln City, Oregon with his friend Matt Jones. The server had just finished preparing his friend's teriyaki chicken sandwich with a scoop of spinach when she started on Jay's Italian sub. However, this time, when the server dished the spinach onto the sandwich, there was a little extra surprise nestled among the greens. A horrifying moment friend Matt Jones recalled for USA Today.
The lady behind the counter said it's a dead mouse, and I laughed. I said, there's no way, no friggin' way.
And now faced with a situation you'd have to see to believe, the friend took a photo as evidence of what happened.
Yeah, I laughed the most. Jay was in complete utter shock, and the lady behind the counter didn't even know what to say or do.
In the end, the server offered them a refund and to make new sandwiches. Matt's response?
No, I'm good. I'll probably never eat here again.
Subway disposed of the products in the sandwich unit after this finding, and the health department gave them a clean bill of health. However, anyone who ordered spinach from that location earlier that month could have consumed food tainted by a dead rodent. And unfortunately, mice aren't the only critters that can ruin a perfectly good meal. In 2022, health inspections at a Dunkin' Donuts in Miami found 6 violations, including moldy ice machines, an employee failing to wash their hands before handling food, and what else? Oh yeah, flies finding a home on the chain's namesake.
Can I talk to somebody about the inspection?
No, I can't, sweetie, I can't.
Flies landing on the donuts?
Sorry, no.
And while the occasional bug in a restaurant might be inevitable, the establishment had already received warnings about their insect problem earlier that year.
Think about what flies land on when you take your dog out, and what they land on when you pass a dumpster. What they could have landed on before they landed on the donuts here.
And perhaps more importantly, think of what flies might do after they land. See, when South Wales NHS worker Alex Craven was biting into the last piece of chicken in his KFC Mighty Bucket, he noticed something peculiar in the deep-fried meat: white grains. And when the 22-year-old inspected the grains closer, he came to a nausea-inducing realization. Those weren't grains in his chicken, but eggs. To be specific, Alex believed they were fly eggs. And if you think this is an isolated incident, think again. There have been several other cases exactly like this. One involving a woman from Auckland, New Zealand, who only noticed the egg after she was 4 pieces into an 8-pack of wings. I was sick to my stomach, and then I was worrying because I'm breastfeeding my baby too, Taryn Cumming told News Source Stuff. And while becoming sick from these eggs is unlikely, it's not impossible. According to Medical News Today, fly larvae can ingest the bacteria that flies pick up throughout the day, possibly transmitting Salmonella or E. coli to those who unintentionally ingest the eggs. And then there's that nasty truth of what fly eggs hatch into: maggots. And those are exactly what an Australian man claimed he found in his piece of KFC chicken. On Facebook, Martin Bates wrote, "If this doesn't put you off KFC, nothing will. This came with extra wiggly things. I'd just taken a bite and it tasted funny. I can eat most things, but when they wiggle in your mouth, that's not so good. Adding barbecue sauce, not going to fix it." But bugs aren't the only potential danger KFC customers should be aware of. In 2022, a woman in Newport, Wales was eating the establishment's Zinger burger when she noticed something was off. "As I got to the thicker bit and bit into it, I felt my teeth go right through the chicken. Kind of like the way it feels when the knife goes through raw chicken when you're cutting it," Michelle Corton told Wales Online. She immediately recoiled from the slimy sensation. The meat was raw, a fact even workers couldn't deny when she showed them the burger. "There were a couple of people in the queue while I was at the counter, and they actually canceled their orders when they heard what had happened," Michelle said. Again, she was far from the first person this had happened to. Various other customers have alleged experiencing the same thing, with some even claiming to receive chicken with vital fluids still on it. And that's not all that's made customers leaving KFC locations never want to come back. One customer was enjoying a chicken burger from one of the chain's establishments in Suffolk, England, when she bit into something hard. "Thinking it was a bone, I pulled it from my mouth," Lucia Richardson told Metro. "When it had finally come out and I looked at it, I was nearly physically sick." Lucia had pulled a chunk of metal out of her burger. And no, this wasn't the chain's twisted version of a surprise bag. An investigation by the company concluded that the metal likely came from a plastic brush KFC used to bread the chicken. And while KFC claimed there were robust procedures and checks in place to prevent this from happening, those evidently failed in this case. And this wasn't the only goodie a customer unknowingly left a KFC location with. While chicken feet are a popular snack amongst different cultures when prepared and cooked properly, it's not something a Liverpool woman wanted to find in her Wicked Zinger meal from the restaurant. "I love KFC, but I don't think I'll ever eat it again. I've worked around food and I know about health and safety. They need to up their standards," Stacey Kenny told local publication Liverpool Echo. However, a KFC spokesperson believed the patron was mistaken and claimed what Stacey believed was a chicken's foot was actually breading from the burger bun. But the debate over whether this was a chicken's foot or bread masquerading as one doesn't erase the chain's track record. From a location in Washington that continued serving the public despite the outside area allegedly being overrun with rats, both deceased and alive, to creepy crawlies found in drinks and food, the chain's plummeting reputation isn't the result of one allegation, but many. Yet the food isn't always to blame when it comes to fast food scandals. With that in mind, if you have a tingling sensation in your throat when eating out, it could be in your best interest to leave the restaurant, and fast. At least, that's a symptom some of the 18 customers at Panera Bread in Massachusetts experienced along with skin irritation and difficulty breathing before they fell ill. But what required 5 of these patrons to be rushed to the local hospital? Well, it turned out it was an issue with the air quality, not the bread bowls. Either a gas leak from the air conditioning system or carbon monoxide poisoning were the likely culprits, neither of which would be a first for the chain. And sometimes, health hazards are simply what companies fail to disclose. Take, for example, Chick-fil-A's grilled fillets and chicken nuggets. Well, unbeknownst to consumers, these meals contained an undeclared dairy allergen, one of the most common allergies in infants and children, with symptoms that range from mild to life-threatening. And while the chain worked to remove the allergen by fall 2022,
starting October 28th, it will be safe for you again.
Even when the ingredients at a fast food chain are perfectly up to snuff, customers can still get sick. See, when you order from a restaurant, you're not only putting your trust in the establishment to follow health precautions, but also in the person in charge of preparing your meal. And what happens when an employee betrays this trust? Well, the story of Jenna Vogt is definitely a worst-case scenario. In July 2022, Jenna ordered a double cheeseburger combo from a Wendy's in St. Rose, Louisiana, a meal that allegedly led to unforeseen health complications, including severe sepsis, E. coli, septic shock, cerebral hemorrhage, and acute GI bleeding. The customer claimed the burger was contaminated with a preformed toxin. As for the cause of the contamination, that would allegedly be poor hand-washing procedures, along with improper inspection and washing of the product. This alleged oversight led Jenna to spend about 2 months in the hospital, which put a strain on her marriage, mental health, and bank account, leading Jenna and her husband to sue the chain for $75,000 in damages in 2023. But while this alleged fast food fumble ended in a lawsuit, most don't. Typically, disgruntled customers are simply offered refunds, vouchers, or apologies and sent on their way. And sure, these tactics can smooth over situations, but they fail to address the problem that's been leaving customers with a bad taste in their mouths that can't so easily be washed out. After hearing these stories, the choice to give up fast food might sound easy, but for those that depend on these low-cost meals, calling it quits isn't so simple. This means it's all the more important that everyone continues to shed light on the mistakes chains are making.
Just got it from McDonald's. Look at that. Is that normal?
As, at the very least, the public deserves to be informed on what they're putting into their bodies.